Okay, this is the chessboard program done in the more sophisticated way with functions. And so you're going to have to wrap your heads around this a little bit. Um, so inside this file, there is a function square color, which takes an input of a turtle and the size of the turtle and a fill color. And then there is a function line of squares, which uses square color. You can see it right here to do its job. And it takes an input of a turtle, the number of squares in the line, the size of each square, and two fill colors. And you need two fill colors because you want to alternate colors. And so this function you should understand quite well. The new feature is that it's taking a turtle as an input here, and so when we get down to the main, you'll see how that works. But now, if you look at line of squares, what line of squares does is it uses square color in a for loop that executes n times, and then there's an if else, which calls square color either with fill color 1 or fill color 2. So this allows the colors to alternate. And then after doing square, remember the turtle has to go forward one line, one side before starting the next square. Okay, and so line of squares uses square color, and chessboard uses line of squares. So here's the chessboard function, and it has the same inputs as line of squares does. So it has, you can see them both here, turtle, the number of rows and number of columns, the size of each square, and two fill colors. And so the first thing I do is I tell the turtle to pick its pen up and to move down to the bottom left corner of the screen so that we'll have room to draw a nice big chessboard. And I tell the turtle to remember its start position. I'm not sure I use that. I think maybe actually I do on the bottom here. So okay, so it remembers its start position. POS, if you look at turtle documentation, returns the XY coordinate that the turtle is at when it goes to this position. Then there is a loop which executes n times. N is the number of rows. And in the loop, we have line of squares. So chessboard calls line of squares. And chessboard now, when it calls line of squares, it alternates F color 1 and F color 2 using evenness and oddness of I, which line of squares does the same thing for each square. And so what this does is it allows alternate lines to start with a different color, because as you can see here, we're mixing or switching the order of the F color fill color parameter. Okay, so we call line of squares, and then we pick the pen up, and we have the turtle go back to its starting position. Okay, so it goes back to the beginning of the line, in other words, and then it goes left 90, and it goes forward whatever the size is, and then it goes right, turns right 90. And so what this does is put the turtle in position to draw the next line. And so what I do, I'll just show you with my cursor here. So it makes a line, and then the turtle moves back to the beginning of the line. And then what it does is it turns left, goes forward, and turns right. So that means the turtle moves up like this, and it's ready to draw the next line. So the way I wrote it, the turtle always starts from the left when it's making a line and goes to the right. There's different ways of doing this, but that's how I decided to do that. And then it remembers its start position here, puts the pin down after putting the pin up and going to where it needs to be to draw the next line. It puts the pin down. You need to pick the pin up here, or it's going to draw a nasty line on your chessboard. Putting the pin down, and then redefining the start position, the new start position, each time you go through. Okay, so definitely there's stuff that you probably want to look through here and understand. And it's a little challenging. You get a piece of paper and draw it out. Okay, so here's the main. And so again, in the main, what we're going to do is we're going to set up the context by setting the screen up. We're going to define the turtle, Tess. Set up to create a turtle and call it Tess. And we're going to have Tess go at max speed, which is speed 0, somewhat counterintuitively. And then we're going to call the chessboard with Tess. That's the turtle that's going to be doing the drawing. And it's going to be 8 rows and 8 columns. And each square is going to be of size 70. And the two fill colors are going to be cyan and magenta. This command right here, I don't know if I've talked about this or not, but again, what this does is it hides the turtle. So you get a chessboard without the turtle being visible. And then the main loop command. Okay, so main does it all, but it does it by calling chessboard. Okay, that's this function, but remember chessboard uses line of squares, so you can see it right here and here, and line of squares uses square color. As I like to say in class, it's just like Lego blocks. So let's run it and see what happens. So here we go. Okay, it's speeded up. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger here so it has room to really draw all the rows. Okay, there it is, an 8 by 8 with cyan and magenta. So line of squares is doing each one of these. It's doing this, and then switching the colors and doing this, and then switching the colors and doing that, as you saw in the chessboard program. Pretty nifty.